I wonder if people like Tate recognize that, like, for all of their shortcomings, guns are in fact equalizers in these scenarios. Said he probably doesn't know about penis fencing. I don't know. I don't know. So apparently Andrew Tate's getting arrested. Or at the very least, his house just got raided by authorities where he lives. Did you also know that apparently he totally didn't move to the country he's in because he is, in fact, an alleged rapist? No, he did it because he wanted to be free to potentially do that. You know, just in case. Sorry, I preamble and poison the well with all that because we're going to be looking at a compilation of Andrew Tate shenanigans on this channel today. And I hope you guys are ready for that because we're going to have some critiques of some of the dumb things he does and says. We may not get through the entire video, but we're going to get through what of it we can. But first, we are going to get into the fan art section. This one is from a Nubian, a festive hammer for Suris, followed by one by Sylvia Silica. Why and how do you do this, Suris? Me. Hey, by the way, I'm live. Sylvia Silica. What the fuck? Look, I have total control over my life. 110%. The next one we have here is from XLR. I had a Mogus on the brain when I drew this, so now Suris is a crewmate. Or are they? Dun dun dun. That is very detailed for a crewmate. That is very detailed for a crewmate. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop to the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get into this shit. I don't support Tate in any way, blah.
You cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch? Why would you...
Can you imagine just supporting domestic violence? Can you imagine that? Because Tate does that.
Suck dick for free.
Because I love doing it. What the fuck? I don't like, what the fuck? I love sucking dick. Why would
Yeah, but you have no future with these men, so why not at least get paid for it, right?
I am getting paid for it on fucking OnlyFans. I don't need them to pay me. I make way more than they could ever give me.
They get paid twice. I don't...
All right, I'm going to go... I like how none of these are actually, like, audio modulated properly, but I'm going to go ahead and come in defense of the OnlyFans girl. Not just because I'm pro-sex work, but also if you already have somebody performing with you, typically the other performers get paid as well. Not the performers pay to be part of the performance, usually. Secondly, why not get paid twice? If the girl's already getting paid, if she's already getting what she wants out of the exchange, then that's enough. That's plenty. It's not shutting down an OnlyFans girl. It's just showing that you're an idiot.
Believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Okay, so Tate, the difference between ghosts and depression is that depression is something that we actually can see. We actually can tell when somebody is clinically depressed. We have the ability to see chemical imbalances that can lead to things like bipolarity, manicness, depressiveness. These are medically diagnosable and real phenomenon that we can witness on a day-to-day basis. Ghosts, on the other hand, categorically don't operate this way. I'm sure there's somebody who's like, God, I love Andrew Tate. He lets me do my Sigma male grind set. I'm sure there's somebody who has that really stupid opinion. But I have to tell you, if you are that person, the longer that you don't wrestle with the fact that you may or may not have a medical condition, the faster that medical condition will catch up with you. In this case, the medical condition, potentially, is depression.
Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you, and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum, and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart. Would you allow me to try?
No, because I have no reason to believe that you wouldn't try that. You're a trained fighter. I believe that a punch from you to my sternum would at the very least hurt.
You wouldn't, because you know I believe I can. I believe I can hurt any man on the planet. And that's why people are afraid of me. And you believe to...
If you're afraid of Andrew Tate, you're a pussy. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right now. I feel like being afraid of all 2 inches of his dick is a pussy move. And I'm not saying pussy to mean vagina. Like, seriously, look up the actual history of that word, please.
Depression is a crippling disease, and that's why you're afraid of it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Right, people. My first ever shower on a plane. This is my huge, spacious bathroom. I'm gonna have to try and do this video without getting my massive cock all over the camera. Right. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tate's rich, tall, strong.
I don't think I care about him on the plane. How long is this plane video? How is the plane video still Is it seriously just him showering? How is the shower still going? We managed to skip like 5 minutes of the video just because Tate is fucking yelling.
What would you do if I wanted to start an OnlyFans?
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with women doing OnlyFans, as long as I had influence and control over it.
What do you mean? Doing a video photographer and get the angles, yeah?
No. I'm not doing any real work, but just like taking all the money. Huh? If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool.
Why would, what?
Wait, so your partner starts an OnlyFans, and they earn that money. Why do you need most of it? Also, so let me go ahead and give my view on partnership and finances. The agreement between you and your partner on finances is literally whatever the agreement is. I know that sounds reductive, but literally, it's whatever you two think is fair. Now, from an outside point of view, though, I would say a default 50-50 is usually fair. Let's say that you are providing 50%. If she has to provide 80% of her income to you for doing an OnlyFans, then you should also have to provide 80% of your income to her for whatever the hell you're doing. Whatever that may be. I don't care what it is you're doing. I don't think that there's anything special about OnlyFans income that makes it categorically different than any other type of work. So, you know what, Tate? I think anybody should be willing to take you up on your offer of them taking only 20% of their earnings if you are willing to only ever take 20% of your earnings and give them 80% as well. If not, then you have to ask yourself why. For Tate, I think the reason is he just thinks women are inferior. That's the only thing I could think of.
Woman is going to give you 8 grand.
You're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product. What the fuck?
Your product.
Yes, correct.
She's not
Next question.
No.
I like how he's just having to, like, next question. He calls her an object, he calls her a product, and then just immediately goes to the next question. How is it that there is a group of incels who are growing up on Andrew Tate shit, and through growing up on Andrew Tate nonsense? Because I guarantee you, if you're a parent, you might not know who Andrew Tate is. Your kid probably does. They're starting out watching some Andrew Tate Owns compilation like this, and then they slowly start accepting and taking in his ideology. Which means there is a generation of people who are going to be growing up listening to this bullshit. And it's not just bullshit in the sense that, oh, he's wrong. Like, he's literally dehumanizing people. There are kids who are going to grow up learning to dehumanize the other gender, and then they're going to wonder why they can't keep a partner, or why their partner that they do manage to get through some miracle calls them abusive. This is the thing. I'm going to go ahead and say something very, very, very controversial. Very controversial. I don't think there's any such thing as an incel. I don't think incels exist. And what I mean by that is the minute that you call yourself an incel, you have accepted a large chunk of incel ideology and propaganda. Once you have accepted that incel ideology, that propaganda, that mindset, your ability to get laid drastically shrinks. Your ability to find a partner drastically shrinks. It becomes almost impossible for you to, because you have taken in that ideology. But taking in that ideology was a choice. And because you have taken in that ideology, you've chosen that life of celibacy. I don't think incels are a thing. I think it is all 110% voluntary. Your inability to go improve yourself, accept yourself, do whatever it is about you that is preventing you from getting a partner. Taking on the label incel is accepting the ideology whole. Once you've accepted that ideology wholesale, I'm sorry, but that lifestyle is your fault. That's a you issue. And you don't just have to solve the problems that you thought made you an incel. Now you've got to rewire your own fucking ideology. Congratulations, you've played yourself. There's a group of people who will call themselves incels, who are going to grow up watching almost exclusively a shit ton of Andrew Tate content. And then they're going to wonder why they can't get a partner, why nobody wants to stay with them, why the only people around them are assholes like them. Let's go ahead and continue on.
Gee, I don't know if you're being serious.
I'm totally serious. How would I let my chick do OnlyFans and keep all the money? That's disrespectful.
What woman is ever going to give you that?
Then she better not do OnlyFans. Duh.
Okay. So the reason he puts that up is not just to say these are my demands, these are the things I need. He does it because he knows people won't take it. So this is what we call a double bind. This is something that classic abusers do. Almost all abusers put you in a double bind. What's a double bind? A double bind is, well, basically a catch-22. It is any situation where scenario A and scenario B both suck, and you are only ever given scenario A and scenario B. So let's say you are a woman with Andrew Tate, and you want to go into OnlyFans. You are with Andrew Tate, so, I mean, you're already fucking losing, but you're with Andrew Tate, and you have two choices. Either have no financial independence, or gain some level of financial independence, but sacrifice 80% of it to Tate. Both options suck. Both options keep you under his thumb for a very long amount of time. Off-White Mage, thank you very much for giving a community sub. And to which you might tell yourself, oh, but there's the third option. They could just leave. Not really. People in abusive situations often find themselves staying in them for several years, or even a long period of time otherwise, because the way out never really presents itself that easily. It is so easy for a group of supportive friends to look at you and say, you're in an abusive situation, just leave. It's so much harder when you are the person in the abusive situation and you are trying to leave. Finding the way out of those catacombs is so much harder when you're not the person staring at the catacombs from outside. Because there are, especially with somebody like Andrew Tate, you're having to deal with somebody who likely is going to end up violent when you say that it's time to leave. If you're in an abusive situation where the person is unpredictable, oftentimes your life is at stake when you try to leave. Also, Zoo Potato, thank you for redeeming your points for an OWL. Several years ago, I found myself in an abusive relationship that I was not able to get out of until literally I was given the ability to move to Georgia. That was the thing that allowed me to get out of it. Triple the Tiefling says, oh yeah, Tate is incredibly violent. There was a video that went out a while ago where he's filmed allegedly beating his girlfriend with a belt. Considering the earliest part of this video where he was talking about strangling a girl, like, I mean, I believe it. And considering that Andrew Tate seems to be somebody who also engages in financial abuse, controlling your finances more than anything, you might not be able to find yourself out of a situation with him just in general, because he's got control over more than your body. He's got control of your path out.
Some child is outside enjoying their life, playing with toys and smiling in the sunshine and having fun. I hate happiness. I hate happy children. Anyway.
Can you imagine your idol, the person who you respect, having that take? Really, really just a pleasant person to shape your life around.
You're all losers. We've discussed this before. I'm the king of the world.
No. You don't go to the club with your friends. I don't know what kind of bitch-ass dude is letting his chicks go to the club with her friends without him. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
So maybe it's just my polyamorous ass that sees that as a giant red flag, but I feel like it is, again, another tactic of a classic abuser to try to keep their partners segregated from the world outside. Imagine dating somebody and it is akin to just being in prison. That's all it is. You're just in prison. Like, I can imagine I go out and date somebody and they say, hey, are you okay with me coming to live with you? And let's say we've been dating for 3 or 4 years. And I say, sure. You can come live with me. Why not? We can be together in this house, what have you, whatever. It's fine. So we're here in my house, and then I go, hey, it's Friday. I'm done with Sunset City. I'm going to the card shop. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And then suddenly you say, you might meet a girl there. Don't go. What? Yeah, I might. Who cares? Whether I'm poly or mono, who cares? I can talk with people who are girls. That's not a problem. And then you go, no. Stay here with me. And then you might even, like, cook a nice dinner or something. You might, at first, do something that makes it seem like, oh, you're just giving me something nice, and it's a reason to stay home. Okay, fine, I'll stay home today. Then Saturday comes up. Saturday's my other card shop day. And then I go, and I try to go to the card shop again. You go, no, wait, don't go to that shop. No, stay in with me. Stay with me. And then before you know it, it's been 2 or 3 years, and I haven't seen any of my friends. And sure, Fridays and Saturdays, I may be getting the absolute best, most mind-blowing sex of my life. But after a couple years, that stops mattering. After a couple years, I realize that I am isolated, lonely. I have nobody left. I only have the person who's been isolating me. And oh, wouldn't you know it, now they're the only person I can rely on, too. What a weird scenario to find yourself in. Not once did this person ever hit you, scream at you, yell at you, but you're still abused. You've been cut off from the outside world, and the only person you can rely on now is your abuser. Imagine being stuck in that scenario. Faya says, I've been in that scenario for the most part. I could only hang out and talk to girls, or he would accuse me of cheating. Same guy in the OnlyFans situation, even though I would date any gender, and he knew that. Yup. Hatman said, I just learned that's abuse. I somehow got out. Why traumatize me so? It's amazing how many of you have been in that scenario. It's a really awkward one. You can't just be like, I was being abused, I was being hit, I was being yelled at, because none of those things are happening. When you describe your partner, it sounds like you're describing the best, most supportive person in the entire world. And then the reality of the situation is that that's not the case. And it makes it even harder to get out. It makes it so much harder to escape. Let's go ahead and look at Andrew Tate in a pseudo gimp suit.
You're the virgin strong
Why did you choose that insult? Why do you call people worms? And it's very, very clear to me, at least, why I call people worms. Worm is a pointless creature. The only reason a worm exists is so that bigger, more important animals can eat something.
Okay, cool. Then I'm perfectly fine calling Andrew Tate a worm. The only reason he exists is to become content on this channel. And that is the only reason.
They don't do anything. They can't see.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and cut him off there. Worms are actually incredibly important for the environment. If I'm willing to take Andrew Tate's insult at its face value, then I'll work with it. But realistically, worms do a fuck ton for the environment. They irrigate the goddamn soil. Yeah, they aerate dirt. That's the thing they do. And yet, Tate is sitting here being a bitch about it because he doesn't want to educate himself on any of that. But this is the same guy who says that reading books is a terrible thing to do.
They sit in the dirt and they just move around in the dirt and they try and hide a little bit and then a bird eats them. And most people live their lives as worms. Most of you are worms. You don't do anything important. You're just living in your shit life, living your little dirt, just sitting there wriggling, hoping an eagle doesn't come along to fuck you up. And if an eagle did come along, you couldn't even defend yourself. A worm has no claws. It hasn't even got, like a skunk can spray smelly piss or something. A worm has zero.
It's not even piss, but okay, hold on. A couple of things. For one, can you imagine looking up to somebody who talks to you like this? Because this isn't him talking to a random-ass person. This is talking to you. Yarkor says, who's coming to beat me up? It me. Let's fight. Let's go. But no, he's not just talking to a random person here. He's talking to you. He's talking to his audience. He's talking to the people who look up to him. He is calling them worthless. Now, hidden in here is actually a bit of a truth, though. Hidden in here is the truth that a lot of people just kind of live their lives existing, not figuring out if they're going to do anything with their lives, if they're going to go and help someone. They just kind of exist and consume product, and that's all they do. That is a true thing. This is not a way of communicating that message. There is a way to communicate to people that they need to improve their state of being. This is a way that communicates to people that to improve their state of being, they need a codependence with the person presenting the information. TATE wants you to be codependent on TATE. Rabbit Ears Blog, thank you for the 100 bits. Did we mention the BS between him and Greta on Twitter? Yeah, I also need to say it's kind of fucking cringe, TATE, to talk about how much you want, you know, to bang Greta. That's weird. That's a weird one. That's a really weird one to do. Just saying. Discordant Vol says, aha, he got arrested because of pizza. So Dude Spanky Dude says, what? You guys didn't see that? Greta called out Tate. Tate then said to Greta Thunberg on Twitter, Cherry T21. That is 60 community subs. Thank you. Holy fucking shit. Back on topic as best I can. In their exchange, Andrew Tate said, hey, I've got 33 of these cars that you don't like me driving. And then somebody commented to Tate that Tate and Greta should just fuck already. And then Tate just went, oh, no, she ain't ready for this. And then Greta started talking about Tate's little dick energy. Said it started with Tate trying to dunk on Greta. Did it? The details get muddy. All I know is this is not a man who should be talking about fucking somebody that young. Anyways, didn't Greta just turn 18 like she's baby? Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I am okay, so I have two opinions on age gaps. How old is Andrew Tate? Let's go ahead and take a look here. 36. Rabbit Ears Blog, thank you for the 100 bits. And Hatman J, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. He's 36. Here's my opinion on age gaps. I don't think age gaps are as much of a problem as people present them to be, as long as everybody is an experienced adult. An experienced adult to me is somebody who has existed in the adult world, has their own financial income, and has some form of independence. They have experienced independence outside of something. As long as that person has had those experiences, has been able to mature in those ways, and is a legal adult, I don't think age gaps are as much of a problem as people try to argue they are. However, that doesn't make what Andrew did not fucking weird. So they are, but the 36-year-old says he wants to fuck the 19-year-old. It's a lot weirder than the other way around. Yeah. I say all that to also say that doesn't make what Andrew Tate did not fucking gross and fucking disgusting. Because think about it from the perspective of somebody who's just watching Andrew Tate stuff. This is somebody who we know will get physically violent with a partner. This is somebody who we know will abuse their partner financially, psychologically. This is somebody who we know is a piece of shit to women. The last person that you want in a relationship with somebody who is just now entering the adult world or has only been in the adult world for a short amount of time is somebody with a known track record of financial, verbal, psychological, and potentially physical abuse. I feel as though comments like that only work if both parties are having a back and forth and they are both involved in it. You know, both parties having some flirtation, both parties, you know, getting into the nitty-gritty of the things they want to do to each other. And if they want to do it publicly, fine. This is not that situation. One of these parties is not consenting to you talking about fucking them. No. We have a little bit more of it to get into.
Pro-defensive mechanism. A worm is absolutely and utterly useless. I've never...
Except for all the important things worms actually do for, you know, soil. Yara says, I already know what the thumbnail will be. I have fear.
Heard of a story of valor that involves a worm.
then you've never read any story involving the hero's journey. Because several heroes' journeys involve somebody who you could consider a worm, going on a journey of self-discovery that leads them to be a person of valor.
People use animals as insults. They'll say you're a bitch, which is a female dog. I don't think a female dog's that insulting to be. I know female dogs. You can have a female police dog that will charge at bullets, or you can have a fire dog that will run in a burning building. What's wrong about being a female dog? A dog can do something.
I feel as though Tate's ignoring the fact that language does not just work one way. I think he's misunderstanding how language works. Bitch does not just mean female dog. Bitch is also just a general insult. When you call somebody a bitch, you're not just calling them a female dog. You are calling them a specific gendered insult. Sup931 says true Sigmas fail English. You know, by the basic definition of Sigma male, I don't think that Andrew Tate actually counts. I don't think he does. Because a Sigma male is supposed to be somebody who, like, goes their own way, whereas he's got, like, every bog standard, hyper-masculine, insecure stereotype all wrapped into his bald head.
Earthworms are hermaphrodites. This is what I mean. They don't have genders.
Most animals don't have genders either because, you know, gender's a social construct. They have sexes, though, said Tate speech. Jesus Christ.
You're a worm. You're not even a man or a woman. You're just a worm. If I were to come and knock on your door and say, I've decided I have a sexual attraction to twos, so I'm taking your girlfriend, you could do very little about it because you're a worm.
Tate, there's a lot of things we can do about it, like gun. I wonder if people like Tate recognize that, like, for all of their shortcomings, guns are in fact equalizers in these scenarios. And yeah, because he sees women as only objects, because he only sees them as toys, things to be used and discarded, of course he thinks he can just take a woman from somebody. Because they're not people to him. They're just things. Said he probably doesn't know about penis fencing. I don't know. I don't know. But with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and please don't grow up to be an Andrew Taint. Insert end of video tagline here.